There's been a survey into the quality of trust and whether there is trust in British brands. And as we are poised, awaiting Paula Vennell's testimony on Wednesday, I don't know whether it's going to go from Wednesday onwards. If it is, I will try and get there. But the post office is no longer trusted. Trust in the post office as a whole has fallen dramatically over the last year, according to Savanta, which has conducted a poll covering 2,500 different brands and 1 million people asked. And the findings suggest, it says that the biggest challenges within the heartland of the over 50s, the legacy of the post office has been lost, partly because of the 900 postmasters and postmistresses wrongfully prosecuted by a savage post office authority, partly because we cannot tell the difference between the post office and Royal Mail. They are interchangeable in ordinary people's minds, even if the pedants insist there's a difference. Even if there is a legal difference, it doesn't matter. In our mind, there is no difference. Whether it's owned by a Czech billionaire or whether it's mismanaged by individuals indigenously, it doesn't matter. It's the thing which represents the UK in our local towns, in our villages, and it's failing. And the Fujitsu Horizon system scandal is like the icing on the top of this rotten cake. And hundreds of sub-postmasters are awaiting compensation, despite the rhetoric that this compensation has already been agreed. More than 250 people have already died waiting for compensation. It is not just because of Mr. Bates versus the Post Office and the ITV spectacular drama, which for some bizarre reason they're unable to promote outside this country, maybe because it lacks Maggie Smith or Dame Judi Dench, maybe because it lacks Rupert Grint, or you know, all of these other key Harry Potter, the Harry Potter boy, the anyway, whatever their names are. I don't know why it failed, but the failure begins with the rotten appointment of people like Paula Vennell's, and the fact that she was then appointed into an NHS trust simply transfers that poison, doesn't it? Because the NHS is also failing. Many people don't want to admit it, but it's failing. I was talking to somebody today who was telling me how their mother was living in Spain and had had a hip replacement. She said it was so easy. Said you go into the hospital, you wait, your name is called, and then off you go. You don't go into a hospital past crowds of smoking nurses. There's a cleanliness, there's an order, there's a system. The bureaucracy is there to support the hard work of the doctors, the nurses, the cleaners. Not so the NHS. The NHS, you're lucky if you come out alive. And yet, the promotion of the NHS by the government is that this is the best thing since sliced bread. This is failing, and it's failing partly because of the twits who run the NHS trusts, most of whom have not got a background in medicine, most of whom have barely got an O-level. And yet, our lives are in their hands, and even when we tell them, as I have done, that this is what is recommended, this is what I should have, this is what your NHS tells me I should have, you can't be sure it's going to happen because the GPs don't talk to the hospitals. One hospital doesn't talk to another hospital. And over all that, you've got these twits with no O-levels who are making decisions about our medical future, about our lives, about our deaths. And why should we be surprised that there is gossip outside the UK about the precise details of the health and the surgery of the Princess of Wales? Why should we be surprised that people in Spain, that people in Greece, that people in Italy and Germany know more about the Princess of Wales medical treatment than we do in this country? Why should we be surprised? Because even if you go to the NHS for treatment, you won't know what's happening.